Hawks.
All right, hello. It's a Sunday morning, which is a different time, and I don't know what Bob was about to say as we got started here, but Andrew on youtube.com/ChaseThomasPodcast had a great reaction to whatever was about to happen there. Bobby Silverman, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Sunday morning. Good morning. That's my Nancy Pelosi imitation. Nobody got that?
Wow.
No, I didn't.
There was a clip of I don't remember when, at some point recently, where Nancy Pelosi was doing the Sunday interviews, and something was either wrong with her piece, or she was just she was being fed the wrong information. And someone asked her, the interviewer asked her a question, and she just said, "Good morning, Sunday morning, good morning."
Just kept saying it over. It wasn't like a glitch.
Really?
She was saying it over and over again.
No, she was just saying that.
And she was probably just like, can you guys hear me? Because you can't do testing over the air. That's just a really bad look. Yeah.
No, it was live.
Oof. Bobby Silverman, though, you were. Do you want to divulge where you were yesterday?
I spent yesterday at my snooty arts camp picking up my niece. It was a long day and a 2-hour or so drive to beautiful New Milford, Connecticut. For those who've never partaken.
Hosted the Dan Patrick show, I think.
Yeah. Is Dan Patrick in New Milford?
I'm pretty certain that's where they.
I thought it was Danbury.
Yeah, Danbury is very close. If it's Danbury, Danbury is very close nearby. But you're in the right. That's some good Connecticut geography knowing.
Yeah,
Hammond.
There you go.
Oh, I'm just saying.
Where is Gilmore Girls?
I have no idea.
That was Storrs, Connecticut, right? No, that's where the UConn is. Where did they go?
That's UConn.
Where were they?
I don't know.
Jamie.
Gilmore Girls.
Stars Hollow, Connecticut is what the.
Yes, I believe that's a fictional town.
Gilmore Girls is not my demographic.
It's absolutely it's my demographic.
It's a delightful
guy.
I'm sure.
So how was it?
But
Bob,
in any case, it was very nice. It was a very long day. It was a long day.
Moving her out or moving her in?
Moving her out because summer camp is over now. The school is starting. She was in 2 performances. There was a dance performance that I saw earlier in the day, and then she was in the season-ending musical at night. It was still. I did not particularly care for this musical. You can read. It's called "Be More Chill," and it's a relatively new musical. If you'd like to read the reviews, I think it may have been. Before I go slandering a new musical and saying something like,
I was going to say, you're about to go in, Bob. You're like restraining yourself.
I'm sitting there watching it and going, did the Columbine shooters write this?
Oh my God.
It is a musical. It is a high school age musical, and it's just, I think sociopathic might be a word I use a couple of times. It's a typical like, oh no, I'm the geek at the high school and I'm not accepted, and then
so it's Dear Evan Hansen for noobs.
Dear Evan Hansen is also sociopathic, by the way.
Even more noobs, I guess. Like just nerds.
I saw Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway.
I haven't seen it, but all I can think of is just like, oh, this is like Catcher in the Rye with TikToks.
Yeah, it's Dear Evan Hansen is a bad musical in my humble opinion. But in any case, it's like that. I understand why they picked it. They have high school age campers there, rather than having them do like say the scandalous version of Cabaret they did when I was a CIT. They picked a musical which was more age appropriate.
They did Cabaret, Jesus.
Yeah, they did Cabaret.
I don't think I know.
It's like how is that going to work in today's society?
Yeah. But it's a lovely summer camp. It's run on the Montessori method. So there are no activities for any of the kids. They just tell them do whatever you want all day. You just have to be doing something. They have pretty much.
Is that what they do at Montessori schools? Is that the role? Is that what that is?
The basic premise of the Montessori teaching method is that if you force a kid to sit down and learn geometry, they will not learn it very well because they don't want to be learning geometry. Whereas if you allow them to pursue their interests, they will retain that information and go a lot further because it's something they actually care about. So in this instance, it's just, arts activities and athletic activities and things like that. And they say, okay, do whatever you want. Just be doing something all day. I mean, it's a snooty camp. They have a glass blowing studio in the camp.
Ooh. Okay.
Like you can do glass
Never done
blowing
that
at this camp. You can do arc welding if you wanted to arc weld.
So this is like a whole summer camp. Like she was gone for the summer.
She was. There were 2 sessions.
Yeah.
She was gone for 4 weeks. Yes.
Yeah. I never
very
did that.
Homesick at first. Yeah.
I was gonna say I never did that long of a retreat away. I think the longest I was ever gone for any camp was a week. I don't think I ever did like the full. I had friends who did like Camp High Harbor. That was, I think, 2 months. I think that was majority of the summer. But all I could do was watch Camp Nowhere over and over again and live vicariously through Christopher Lloyd.
I was a camper at this snooty summer camp, and then I was a counselor also at this snooty
Okay.
summer camp. So
There you go.
It's a very profound experience for the Silverman family. My sister was there for a long number of years.
Oh, so this is like a family tradition we've got going on here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andrew Hammond's also here. Detroit Free Press. Andrew, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Chilling. It's a Sunday.
You are comfortable. You got the beanie going. Like Andrew Hammond is just.
I am beanie. I feel like I am beanie.
Is it because of your 70-degree psychotic air conditioning that you have?
Okay, it's not 70 degrees.
69 here right now, Bob. Got my hoodie on.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, it's been raining, and it's like not like a nice little summer rain or back end of summer rain. It's kind of like it's
Fall
raining.
Squall.
Yeah, not too much, but you're just like, it's raining and it's a lot cooler than it would be in the summer. So I'm just like, but like the sun's out right now. Well, it's no
sun's
longer
out, buns out. You know what they say.
Well, that's how I sleep. But yeah, no. So I'm just kind of like, Bob's like, oh god. No, I mean, I've hit the point in the sports calendar, and this goes nothing against any of the other sports. I'm ready for football. Because you're basically kind of getting the big tease from preseason action. Then college football week 0 is literally 6 days from now. So you're just like, it's
right,
here.
I keep seeing that.
You're just like, it's here. I see
that. I'm a follower of Jim Weber on Twitter, and he does a countdown clock. And every time I see it, I go, "That's too early." But
yeah. So yeah, just kind of ready for football. I mean, once again, that's not to say that you aren't lessening any of the other sports, because I feel like when you say you're ready for one sport, people take that as a slight, well, you don't respect this sport or that sport. No. What makes the sporting economy go around in this country is football.
It is.
And I'm just tired of the tease that is preseason, because I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but a lot of teams are
Hammond, I have a question for you. Is preseason going the way of the dodo bird? Because being a noted Jets fan, they're debating whether or not to play interim starter Joe Flacco or any of the other presumptive game against the Ravens players, and they've been having joint practices against Chase Thomas's Atlanta Falcons all weekend. And
we play y'all tomorrow night.
Do they need them? I mean, granted, owners aren't giving them up because it's 3 guaranteed gates for all the season ticket holders.
Yeah. It's 3 guaranteed gates, and you're basically paying the same price. I believe you're paying the same price as
if
a
you
regular
buy a season ticket
game
package. You have to buy however many home preseason games as well.
Yeah,
I believe. I am not a personal seat license owner, so
it is. I want to say that it's going away, but the problem is, how do you alleviate that? Like, I get it's perfect for roster spots, but I mean, I'm looking at the Vikings yesterday. They played the 49ers, and the Vikings.
How was Kellen Mond?
Well, I don't know if he even played, but all I saw was 27 guys on the roster didn't even suit up. And you're just kind of like, okay, I get it. I absolutely get it. The problem is you're in the second game. You're in the second of 3 games. Either because it used to be the starters would play a little bit.
It would be 4 games. The first game, most of the starters would set up. The second game, they would play at least a quarter.
Yeah.
Third game, which was considered the de facto final game, they play a whole half.
Yeah, and then for some,
then the fourth game, it was okay. Let's let the 50th to 60th guys on the roster fight it out.
Yeah, and even for some quarterbacks, it would be just so I can get a rhythm going into the season. I'm gonna play maybe that first quarter of that last game, especially if it's at home or something like that. Or you have the situation where there are roster spots. That's when you want to get maybe your 1 or 2 guys or 2 or 3 guys on the depth chart. You want to, get those battles, at least finalized or crystallized, whatever. But I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm over preseason.
Dang.
I would be curious to get like a polling number on coaches and GMs if they actually. I think we're getting to the point. It seems like we're not going to be at 17 games very long, right? I think it's going to be 18 games very soon, and then I think it's going to be 2 preseason games.
We're absolutely getting a 19 game season,
week season. Yeah.
Oh no! Ooh, I think there's going to be 19 games.
I don't know. Really? I don't think odd numbers. A, don't like it.
Yeah.
Can't do it. And B, I think 18 plus 2 preseason, you get to that 20 number. I think that's where they want to be. And I think 2 preseason games is all that they actually need. But I would be curious. I mean, I wonder how much coaches actually need.
Look, college football teams don't have preseason games.
They do. They're just called bye games. So, like when.
Basically the whole month of like the first month of the season for some of these teams before conference play. Yeah, if you're facing directional, Utah State.
Directional Utah. Yeah.
Western Utah Western or something.
Go T-squares. Directional Utah T-squares. I'm a big fan.
So like I get it. But the thing is you can't do that in pro football because you've kind of oversaturated the market. And plus there's no incentive or there's no appeal of playing a USFL team when half these guys
they could play USFL teams.
That would be cool. Well, I think it'd be XFL because they have the deal with XFL.
Right? But the problem
maybe that's where they go. Maybe that's
the problem is the XFL season is over.
Yeah,
and so
I mean, because a lot of those guys will be wanting to get on NFL rosters. So yeah, it's weird.
I just watched the clips. Like I have some real sicko friends who watched from start to finish the Falcons preseason game against the Lions last week. And I'm just like, I can't. I like the game winning heat by Ritter. It was. No. I just need the clips. I need the clips, and it's like, Quadri Allison was good. All right, interesting.
Like if you want to go, like I have a buddy of mine took his son to a Chiefs game. That's cool. Like if you want to do that, but if you're expecting me to invest as much time in trying to figure out roster A, roster B, position battle 1, position battle 2. I don't care. Like the
man doesn't care. Sorry, NFL.
Yeah.
Andrew the funny thing is
I'm actually trying to get back into the NFL, more in depth as just a fan. This year, because it's hard to do that a little bit when you're in the when you're on a sports desk and 2 you're in the home of an NFL team, so it's pretty difficult to focus on the league at large when you've got your own team to worry about first,
which naturally brings us to the Knicks preferring to keep Quentin Grimes over RJ
Is it the Knicks minute?
It's the Knicks.
Oh yay! Let Let me turn my mic
Dun
off.
dun 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 dun. That's
Bob,
the theme song for the
the
Knicks
Knicks Minute.
Yeah. Yeah, there was evidently the Knicks and the Jazz executives all were on their summer vacations in various far-flung locales for a month and stopped talking. Look at Andrew. He's so miserable.
Oh no, I'm not miserable. I'm just laying back listening to this.
Just have it.
And
You want to
laughing.
grab that coffee, man. Just get some
Oh
caffeine
no, you're
in
good.
yourself.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
I'm just
All right.
laying back listening to
All right,
this
just
hilarity.
chill. Go resume the position. You're fine. So the first report that we've gotten in probably a month was a Shams blog and tweet in which he said that negotiations have resumed, but nothing is imminent. There's a clear logic for giving up. Wow, gone. He's out. Hammond out. Hammond out.
Mm-hmm.
There is a logic for giving up RJ Barrett in this trade, and I would be surprised if Utah wants to. I'm still like I don't think Utah has any desire to pay RJ Barrett what he's going to get, which is going to be frighteningly close to the max. So
are we certain that that's what he's going to get?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a really good player, though. He really improved last year.
He is.
I just don't see it with Grimes. Like, I don't understand the whole Grimes part of this.
There's a lot of Grimes mentum. The love.
Explain Quentin Grimes to me as someone who did not watch a bunch of Quentin Grimes last year. Explain this to me.
The archetype of the fully realized version of Quentin Grimes is a valuable player in the NBA. He is a large, not huge wing. He's not like a 6'7", 6'8" wing, but he is a 6'4.5", 6'5" wing, but he's got long arms and excellent defensive chops. He can credibly guard pretty much every 2 and 3. And if you need him to switch on to a longer stretch 4, he can do it. He is an excellent shooter. He's got a very quick release, and he's also got a very high release. So when that shot is, he can get that shot off quickly whenever he needs to. Because he was a hot prospect coming into before he got into Kansas, you can see the remnants of a dribble on the ball creation game. It's there. He was a point guard in high school, and people thought he was going to be a ball dominant scorer. He ended up going to Houston, becoming a really 3-and-D specialist. But there is room for growth. But that said, he's a 22-year-old wing who's played 40 games in the NBA. I would say the hype has possibly exceeded the reality to the point where Quentin Grimes is really the sticking point in this trade. And I'm like, look, I say this as someone who may have in a blog compared Landry Fields to John Havlicek at one point.
Is this on knickerblogger.net?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I may have actually thrown it in one of the ESPN 5-on-5 roundtables. I may have done that.
Oof. We were all in on the Landry Fields, Jeremy Lin combo.
Landry Fields, his rookie year.
Yeah.
That being the 2010-2011 season. He averaged 10 and 7 as a shooting guard and nearly 50% from the field. He was good. He was very good.
He was a D'Antoni type guy.
He was a good defensive player. He was a good shooter. He was a good athlete.
Unselfish player,
lots to like about him.
Now he's the GM of the Hawks.
He was the main sticking point in the Carmelo Anthony trade. The Knicks decided they could give up everybody and not
even Andy Routens.
Landry Fields. Yeah. Andy Routens, by the way, there is a show. It's hard to find on YouTube. You kind of got to dig around and get it. There's a show that ran on the MSG network, or an MSG's like YouTube channel called the Andy and Landry Show. Or it may have been the Landry and Andy show.
I have a little bit of a memory about this.
Like
yeah.
I remember a little.
It's basically just pre-TikTok type videos of Landry Fields and his buddy Andy Routens doing stuff, like going to a bowling alley or hanging out with fans. I did not watch it when it aired. I was only sort of vaguely aware that it existed because it would come on after. I think it would be on the MSG network maybe after the Knicks post game or something like that. But in any case, why everyone is so agog over Quentin Grimes, where Utah is like, that's the guy we have to have. I don't know. I think he's good. He's fun to watch. He's eminently replaceable at this point, though. So
But you're not really surprised that Tibbs would prefer to keep Grimes over RJ.
No, because because there's a question. In order for RJ Barrett to be successful, he needs a very specific kind of roster around him. Like RJ Barrett's main strength is he can get to the hoop whenever he wants. That is an excellent strength to have if you are the primary scorer for a team. The downside is RJ Barrett hasn't really been able to score that efficiently when he gets to the hoop. And he's still shooting free throws in the low 70s at best. So what you have is a high-volume, ball-dominant scorer that teams are kind of okay with doing a lot of high-volume scoring. Now, he'll get better at finishing at the rim. How much better, I don't know. And he's still not what you would call a good shooter. So you need 4 3-point threats around him to build a credible 2023 era NBA offense. And you can do that, but it's not like you can slot RJ Barrett into a number of different roles on offense and still have him thrive. He's right now got one role, and he's not even particularly good at it as is. On the other hand, Quentin Grimes, there are no teams where you can say, oh, I can't find a use for Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes is not going to be a 20-point-a-game scorer, but you can find absolutely Quentin Grimes can be a success on a number of different rosters.
Well, do you think for RJ Barrett? I think they have to be considering Donovan in all this, Donovan and Jalen.
Yes.
So who does RJ
right? If Donovan and Jalen are going to be the primary ball handler in, I don't know, they're both going to have a usage over in like the 30s. So that's 60% of your offensive possessions. Right now, Julius Randle is still on the roster. Like, you look at it and you go,
I think he has to be included, right, with the money. Like, I think he'd have to be.
No, not necessarily. There are ways to give up. You can do it with, your old buddy Cam Reddish and Derrick Rose. You can do it with.
Derrick's not going anywhere.
You can do it with Evan Fournier as the contract that's going out. You don't need to trade Randall.
Didn't Ainge sign Fournier? Wasn't he the one who signed him to that long-term deal, or was that Stevens?
Stevens didn't sign him to a long-term deal in Boston. They picked him up in a trade.
Yeah. So it was New York who originally did the long-term deal.
New York did it. New York gave him 3 years, $18 million per.
Boston just traded for him.
Boston traded for him. New York gave him 18 per for 4 years. Fourth year is a mutual option.
And again, do we Google Evan Fournier or no? Is that a
no? That's a
no. No, we don't Google.
No, we don't do that.
No, we don't. Google.
So, the reasons why an executive would prefer Quentin Grimes are quite clear. I think his value's gotten a little overhyped. He had a very good summer league, which, as we know, means everything in terms of player development in the NBA. Like, just ask, I don't know, Marco Bellinelli, or Josh Selby.
Selby.
Some of your preseason.
Wasn't he like a 2-time summer league MVP or something? I feel like Selby was awesome.
Selby was awesome in the summer league. So was Bellinelli.
Yeah.
Anthony Randolph had some monster summer league games.
Taking me back to the
he's only 33
network days.
He could be a rotation player. No one denies this. Anyway, that's the end of the Knicks Minute. The trade's going to happen at some point before.
That's what it seems like. Camps. They were taking a vacation, and they're like, we're not doing it right now, but we'll come back.
The Knicks were in Ibiza, and the Jazz were at like Sandals in Jamaica or something like that. Now they're all back and on their phones again.
There you go. Andrew, when you hear that the Pacers envision Tyrese Haliburton as their next Reggie Miller, what do you think?
Jesus.
They think he's going to be a Ferengi in a Star Trek episode?
Ooh, there you go.
Wow, took shots fired at Richie.
Yeah, I'm just.
It's a very August sports reporters. Everyone's
God,
like, I don't know, man.
It's not even that. It's just the NBA has this really weird vibe to it sometimes, where teams have the best intentions of doing something. And it's kind of like, what?
Haliburton's going to be the next Reggie Miller. get insanely hyped because of one really good playoff series in New York and then spend the rest of his career dining out on that? I don't know. Maybe.
No, Bob's not bitter at all. No, I just
No.
I look
Yeah.
at this. I look at that Pacers team, and I'm just kind of like, just an awful lot of meh. Just
I think I still think they have the best offer for Westbrook if they decide to go.
Oh,
that way.
they absolutely do. I'm just kind of once again, I'm just there's a layer of the NBA that is just meh and vibes.
There's not a lot of excitement in the NBA right now.
And
there
that's
have been
okay.
There
And
have
that
been
is
summers when
okay.
I've been amped to see what this NBA season will provide. This is not one of them, and it's not just a Knicks thing. It really is.
Yeah,
But it's so
okay
strange because I think you
why-
can make the case that like 10 or 11 teams can win the title next year.
Ooh,
could.
no.
No, I'm
Sure.
serious, Andrew. If we go
No.
down the list, 10 or 11 can do this. We
No.
can do this exercise. I know it sounds high. I thought it was high too. Ben Golliver and I did it 2 weeks ago. If you go through it, like
Time
you
out.
can,
He's calling time.
Full.
He's using his timeout.
Okay.
You got to stop talking.
The only reason I say that, in an optimistic sense, there's a yes. I'm sure that there is a path, but let's keep it a buck, Chase.
Uh-oh. Now it's being kept a buck.
Thank you, Bob. The problem with that is for half of those teams, they need everything to go right over
Look, you cannot. There's no dynasty or imminent dynasty
Right.
in the NBA right now.
No,
Like,
not at all.
nobody knows how the Warriors are going to deal with all the role players they lost. Like the
everybody's
Phoenix
tired.
collapse. They all the teams look tired. Look in
Yeah.
the East, and I don't want to redouble Golliver's work, but Boston, Milwaukee,
Yep.
Philly. If
Yep.
Brooklyn doesn't
Miami.
trade Miami, if Brooklyn doesn't trade Durant and Irving, then you
Yeah,
gotta
good
add
luck with
Brooklyn to
that.
that list.
Good
could
luck
work.
with that.
It could work.
Right.
Good luck with that.
I mean, it could work.
Yeah, they're still in the conversation as currently constructed. They could win the title.
In the West, Phoenix.
Who's going to be the head coach?
Golden State. It's actually me. I'm going to be the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets.
Proud of you,
KD and
Bob.
I dunked on KD on Twitter, and now he respects me. So they're going to.
There you go.
I did not actually dunk on KD.
I was going to say, it was like, usually when he dunks on somebody, he ends up like getting them like unnecessary, like not
Just
unnecessarily.
ratio to hell. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's not even just getting dunked on, like you just get ratioed and you're just like, oh no.
I feel so bad. I relate to KD is such a wonderful poster, in which I mean that he is a hopeless addict and only harms himself by posting. So that's what I mean by wonderful addict. Oh boy, does that man need to log off? Now, granted,
Which account?
It depends with all the accounts. The
Mhm.
really great thing is that people say, like, they wonder why celebrities are they don't hand this responsibility off to some assistant and actually do post things on the internet themselves. And you think, God, if I had millions of dollars and the chance to do and the opportunity to do whatever I wanted with my spare time, boy, would I not waste it on some dumb microblogging site. And then you think to yourself, no, I might still do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I might still post. And that's why KD is a true poster, because he is.
He gets it.
He gets it. When it comes to post, he is committed to the poster lifestyle. And I truly do respect that. It is.
I just imagine him at all these important events and parties and everything else, and KD's just on his phone, and they're like, "Oh, what is KD up to?" And it's like KD's just like looking at the latest ball don't stop tweet, and just being like, "That's a good point. I like it." And then reading the comments of like, "What did this dude say?" No, that's ridiculous.
Going back and forth for hours with
Mhm.
randos. You really do have. Poor Kate, like the dude, boy, has he. Not to get into any like legacy talk, but boy, is everyone's perception of KD
mistakes were made.
Yeah, KD's reputation should have been the most perfectly constructed basketball player that humanity has ever come up with, and instead everyone views him as a sad millennial who sabotaged all of the teams he played on in one way or another.
Did he? Which
Yeah.
is funny because it's like, did he really sabotage Golden State, or is the
Golden
line from
State
Draymond?
managed to recover. I think
Yeah, it
Golden
was
State would have been a lot better if they'd had Kevin Durant all those years.
the line that I think about KD's run in Golden State. There's two moments. There's I want to say it was the 2017 finals where he basically was just like in God mode.
Yeah.
And then the line where Draymond says, "We really didn't need you," which is funny, but it's also kind of like
you did need him.
Kind of sort of did, but then you
Yeah.
kind of sort of didn't.
KD just, I mean, this is again perception based on tweets and reports and press conferences and things like that. Like, he just has no idea what he wants. He has no idea what he actually wants. And he keeps doing things that he thinks will make him happy, and they only end up making him more sad. And this latest, well, get rid of the entire front office or trade me thing, because they're not going to get rid of the entire front office. There was a line that Mark Stein put out where he said the reason why, because there was all throughout the summer before KD signed with the Nets in 2019, throughout the winter, every sourced reporter, every plugged in dude was saying the Knicks are getting KD and Kyrie. It was considered a done deal. If you think back to those many eons ago, it was considered a done deal. I had heard third hand through a guy who knows. This is me pulling up my sources. This is not an actual ethical, like, journalistic reporting, but third hand, a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy very close to KD said, yeah, it's happening. So, and there was a line in Mark Stein's newsletter this past week where he said what soured KD to joining the Knicks at the last minute is he did not think that James Dolan would be as willing to cede to his every whim as the Nets would.
Yeah, he's not wrong there.
No, and James Dolan's sort of pig-headed, ignorant stubbornness may have done the Knicks a solid this one time. If true.
Remember when it probably may have cost him LeBron, and it's like, oh man, he screwed that up. And then
they screwed because like there was a video. It's never leaked. I think I would love to get my hands on this. During the presentation for the LeBron, the Knicks made a "Please Come to the Knicks" video with James Gandolfini and Edie Falco, because they heard that LeBron loved The Sopranos. So James Gandolfini was in character as Tony Soprano, and Edie Falco was as Carmelo Soprano, going like, please, like, hey, LeBron James, you got to come play for the Knicks. You know, we're making you an offer you can't refuse. That's my terrible.
I would love to go back, and because I'm sure there are tapes. I'm sure there are confirmable firsthand accounts. I would just love to go back maybe 20, 25 years from now. We go back to the summer of the decision and just after...
And get all the dirt. And what
I want all the dirt.
The Knicks pitch was also evidently... maybe reportedly soured because Donnie Walsh had gotten hurt earlier that summer. So he was in the meeting in a wheelchair. Evidently, the optics of that were not appealing to Team LeBron for whatever reason, or so others worried that the optics were not as good. Because
Donnie doesn't have that dog in him.
Donnie was getting on in years even in 2010, and him sort of rolling up like Ironside may have not... helped matters much. Kids, Google the TV show Ironside.
We just got an Ironside reference.
I am not old enough to watch that show. I am old enough to get the reference. I don't know, probably from Dennis Miller or something. But please, if you want, Google that.
I was like, that's a very Dennis Miller. Rolling up to the meeting like he's Ironside or something.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Which naturally brings us back to Tyrese Haliburton and the Pacers.
We're still on Tyrese chat.
Well, here's what I want to say about that. So, what their GM who got elevated because what's his name? Not Neil O'Shea. Kevin Pritchard got elevated to president of basketball ops.
President of basketball operations.
Yeah, that's like a new thing now. Everyone has like the two front
Everyone's
office
got
execs now.
A POBU.
Yeah.
Every team,
He said,
every sport has a
quote,
POBU.
"We're going to build our team around him. We see him as hopefully being the next Reggie Miller. We had a Reggie Miller mural painted on a building in downtown Indianapolis, and I think our dream is that one day Tyrese will have his own up somewhere in downtown Indianapolis."
In Naptown.
In today's NBA, hell no.
Like, I like Tyrese Haliburton.
I'm still mad that the Knicks didn't draft him and took Obi Toppin, who I also find delightful, but I really wanted Tyrese.
I like Obi Toppin, though.
I do like Obi. I do like Obadiah Toppin Jr.
He's just not gonna probably make it in this league much longer, right? Like this is
he's gonna make it. He's gonna have a
he's just with the Knicks.
Yeah, it just feels like he's gonna float, and then he's gonna leave for China for a couple of years, and then he'll be back.
You do not like Derek Williams or Michael Beasley, Obi Toppin.
So we don't think he's going down that road.
No, Obi Toppin
solid. He will have a solid 10-year career in the NBA.
I was going to say, have you seen NBA free agency? Like, that man will end up getting an enormous payday.
Someone's going to put him in an up-tempo offense and play him at the 5, defense be damned, and he will be like at Dayton.
This sounds like Anthony Randolph to me.
Anthony Randolph could play in the NBA right now. No one denies this. He's only 33.
Obi Toppin would be fantastic in Memphis.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, put him in the Brandon Clark role in Memphis, and he would be getting outlets and running with John Morant.
Memphis is the saddest team in basketball for me. If you could turn injuries off, Memphis would be fun. But Memphis is just Jaren Jackson's now out till December, and if you look through his games played at this point, it's a miss. Yeah. Well, no, it's not fine. Like
they're fun and awesome to watch. They play smart basketball.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that.
All over the court.
They're two best players. I just don't think are going to ever be healthy enough to make any of this work. It's just sad.
I don't care whether it works or not. I've moved on. I've evolved past.
Here, yeah.
Well, people are just still talking like the Grizzlies are moving towards contention, and it's like, no, there's no path to Jaren Jackson and John Morant playing 120 games together.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Memphis is that fun team that you're like, hey, they could reach a conference finals, or this thing could crash, in the process. I kind of want to see what happens.
I think you're getting into that rings culture and being like, oh well.
No, I'm not doing rings culture. I'm doing injury culture, where I'm just like, they are not going to play games. Rings culture. It's like Jaren Jackson's just injury prone, man. Like it's just not happening.
It's a rings culture adjacent.
Trust me, I'm not a rings culture guy.
I hate rings culture.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Can we end on my favorite story of the offseason?
Jaren Jackson is a little fragile.
So is Ja.
I don't think Bob's affected by that. He's just like,
I don't care.
Like, okay, fine.
Don't care. Fine, don't care.
What you might care about, Andrew, is Tom Brady and the Masked Singer rumor. Are you a believer in this being the case? Because this is my favorite.
Once again, we need football to actually start.
But do you believe it?
No.
Tom Brady is in an ashram somewhere in India with his guru.
I truly believe that Tom Brady
is investing in seasteading with Peter Thiel, and he's subsisting on vampire blood.
What if Succession? He's on Succession season 4. That's filming right now. What if that's what he's doing?
Sure,
that's fine. Circling us right back to does the preseason matter? We'll find out, because Tom Brady just said, you know what?
I'm going to skip a few days and go watch Succession. I think part of it is
I'm watching F-Boy Island for the next 3 weeks. I'll see you guys.
Fantastic show. Season 2.
I've heard about it. I'm good.
No, I'm not going to do it.
I'm good on that. If I wanted to watch F-Boy Island, I'll just watch a mid-level SEC game.
Boo this man. Boo.
Oh, you feel good about that, Andrew?
I've seen what makes you cheer. Stop.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty sad.
No, but seriously, I don't believe it. I think Tom Brady took the time off because maybe he just needs one, he just needs time to just get away. Two, it's not like the effing offense hasn't changed or
It's just going to
anything.
be what Tom Brady wants to do.
Like how many vets back in the late 90s to like mid 2000s always did the whole, oh, I'm not going to show up to training camp for a 2-week stretch because of a
Did they?
contract.
Was that a thing? I mean,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The guys wouldn't go because of a quote unquote contract, but it was because Michael Strahan was super notorious for this. He would have all of a sudden, he would have a contract negotiation issue. And then, 2 weeks of training camp goes by. Oh, and all of a sudden he's back.
Tom Brady does not require time to.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I have completely spaced on who the Bucks hired to.
It's Todd Bowles.
It's Todd Bowles.
It's Todd Bowles and Bruce
Who's
Arians.
Going to run
basically
what Tom Brady wants to do offense, which is what Bruce Arians
nobody's and nobody's left. Like Leftwich is still there. Bruce Arians is basically in an executive role.
He's doing some high level Kangol hat cultivation in his spare time.
Yeah. Like I'm just kind of like, okay, but it's funny that there's this whole Masked Singer thing because I'm pretty sure that
he's not doing that. No,
well,
he's
doing that and
maybe not.
There's too much. I mean, I feel like there's too much of a we're in a society.
We live in a society.
I knew that was coming.
We live in a society.
But I felt that in my bones that Bob was going to do that.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Everything in terms of where somebody is, you can't tell me that somebody at Fox or somebody somewhere would have said, "Oh man, dude, Tom Brady." Like the whole Reddit theory. First off, as much as I laugh at Reddit sometimes, some of these people just need to go out and touch grass. I'm not buying the whole Tom Brady thing.
That is a sell order on the Tom Brady rumor from Andrew Hammond. Sell. That's right, Mortimer and Randolph Duke. Sell.
Well, do we think it's ever going to come out? Do you think he's going to tell people where he was?
No. Because he's got a secret hidey hole. Why would you tell someone where that was?
Does
Tom Brady ever tell anyone anything that he's doing that is not eventually turned into branded Tom Brady content?
Also, no. Gronk is probably gonna end up spilling the beans.
Gronk will come back in November.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like Gronk is gonna be so bored.
He's going to get tired of getting into wrestling matches with his brother and chasing squirrels around the backyard. He'll be in Buffalo. He'll come back.
Yeah, he's that and the whole. I don't know.
What Andrew Hammond? What did you think of the rumor that was floated this week that there was a very clear deal in place for Tom Brady?
Oh, for the Raiders.
To the Raiders.
Oh, I absolutely believe it because one, I feel like
for Gruden,
Gronk is, I hate saying this because Rob Gronkowski actually kind of sort of is a very smart guy. He
doesn't present as such, but yeah.
He's too dumb to just sit there, float that out, and let others be like, oh man, did that happen? And he's not going to sit there and go, I feel like he's too dumb to just.
I think you can slot that in the Rob Gronkowski was bored, so he decided to lob a hand grenade in that would and stir up
and he's also just kind of like, oh yeah, whatever. No, I absolutely believe that. Yeah, that was absolutely going to happen.
Sorry, Los Angeles Raiders fan.
Yeah,
the one native person in Las Vegas. Sorry, did I say Los Angeles Raiders?
Yeah, he said Los Angeles. But yeah, I can totally see that, fan. And I can totally see Gruden going, Derek Carr isn't that bad. In which Derek Carr isn't. You've just had a really stupid offense. You've needed to fix the offense.
He is a fine middling NFL starter.
Yeah.
But see, I don't think he's
probably
middling. That's why it's so
15 teams
frustrating.
that
I think
were
he's
better
like
than Derek Carr.
he's in that he is. I think how he is a Matt Ryan type, where it's if everything's good around him, he can win a title. Like he's someone you can win a title with.
Sure.
He's definitely good enough, but he's
Okay,
just
so
not gonna
I
be.
got a real quick question.
Yeah.
Where does he rank AFC West QBs 1 through 4?
So we're dealing with Russell Wilson,
Justin
We've got
Herbert,
Justin
Patrick
Herbert,
Mahomes,
Patrick
Derek
Mahomes.
Carr.
He's after all those guys.
I think there's a
And
conversation
ahead-
about Derek Carr and Russell Wilson right now.
Really?
Ooh.
Russell was bad last year, and now like, what if there is a point where like Russ is now on team 2? So we'll see how he does in this offense with this group.
I think Russell Wilson is incredibly corny, and I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth about anything he's ever said, let alone his supplements and bedroom habits. Let's leave it at that. It's a family-friendly show. He's possibly the corniest athlete in all of pro sports, but he is also better than Derek Carr. Come on, Chase.
In 2022, are
Yes.
we sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the problems that happened with Russell Wilson, like why Seattle was so bad.
Seattle has been running the Pete Carroll jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams offense for the past decade. And he hasn't had a line that can keep him upright.
It's kind of
his entire career in Seattle. Come on.
It's kind of like how Notre Dame was last year, where it's like, oh, you kind of overshot expectations. The problem is it's kind of like the same thing with Seattle before 2022. It was from about 2018 to last season. You avoided falling off the cliff.
Pete Carroll brought Jordan Peterson to camp as a motivational speaker one year.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
He absolutely did. And so
yes, he did.
I look at Seattle's offense, and it's just kind of like
I'm not sure if Vic Fangio is a reincarnation of like Vince Lombardi, but I think he can pull. I think he can get. I think he doesn't need to bring the clean your room.
Nathaniel Hackett is the head coach in
Nathaniel
Denver
Hackett.
now.
Yeah,
sorry. Vic Fangio. Ask Denver fans about Vic Fangio.
They don't like him. I get that.
They have takes on that man. But no,
genius defensive mind, just not a head coach.
Strong
Jeremy Pruitt vibes.
Oh, so he's gonna be
don't
run
do it,
out
Andrew.
the building too.
He's gonna what?
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say something? Did I speak the truth? That he got ran out for no reason, and they tried
all
to
I heard was go Vols.
Right. Okay. Here's the thing. Rocky Top absolutely slaps, but let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Y'all ran that man out for no apparent reason.
Jeremy Pruitt for no apparent reason?
Yeah, y'all ran him
out.
Oh,
Andrew, I don't have time for that take. That's
y'all
a 5-minute response take. Where's my ether? Where's my ether lyricless version where I can play on the soundboard and just drop
you don't
bars?
Have a soundboard. You should have a soundboard. You need
you should have a soundboard.
You need a sound effects. You need a wacky sound effects button where you can be like or button.
I should get a soundboard.
That would be awesome. Get like a Dr. Sample. That's an actual kind of sound.
First rule of soundboard though is never give it to Bob because I just know Bob.
It would be a fantastic cartoon though to eventually go to HBO Max and then get canceled.
Yeah, I would smosh all the buttons for fun reasons. Don't give me a soundboard.
Andrew, what can the good folks check out from you at the Detroit Free Press this week?
Secret project still underway.
Pushing the secret project button. Secret project.
We got breaking news. According to Adam Schefter, well, this is from Adam Schefter on a tweet. Bucs quarterback Tom Brady is expected to return to the team per a source very shortly. Brady left the team earlier this month for personal reasons.
That's not breaking news.
Yeah.
That's
I'm just saying we were talking about Tom Brady and then
I know, but I don't know if that's anymore. We said that at the beginning of the show. We said Tom Brady will return to the team very shortly and he's spending it for person. All right.
I don't think he's ever going to tell people what he was doing unless
No,
it breaks.
he's not, and honestly, he shouldn't. But you know what?
He should make up the most outrageous lies about what he was doing just to mess with people's minds. I think that's what he should do. All right. In any case,
Bob Silverman, what can the good folks check out from you at Daily Beast?
I might have a story this week. We'll see. It might be next week, either this week or next week, I think. So soon. Not saying what it is.
Soon. I like it. Andrew Hammond, Bob Silverman, thank you as always, and I will talk to y'all next week.